Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over 10 helpful tips for using the Google Search Console. So how to use the Google Search Console to continuously drive more and more search engine traffic to your website. So I'm going to be using Beachfront Decor as my example, and I'm going to get right into all the tips. So the first one is when you're in the overview screen, or if you click on index and then coverage, you want to make sure that your coverage is constantly increasing with the number of valid pages that have been indexed by Google. So if this line right here, so let's say right here we start at Friday, March 8th, let's say it stayed at 9,280 or somewhere right around there for the entire 3 months, rather than increasing to 15,794. So let's just say it stayed that way for the last 3 months, you're really not going to see much growth in your search engine traffic. So as you can see here, I haven't even seen a ton of growth over the last 3 months, even though I've been adding a ton of pages and adding a lot of new content over the last 3 months. But if this stays stagnant, if your coverage continues to stay stagnant and you're not also improving the content on your pages, then you're just not going to keep increasing clicks to your website. In fact, this will probably start to decrease over time. So I've been able to kind of increase a lot of my clicks and impressions over the last 3 months. Not as much as I would like to, but it's continuously increasing. And one of the main reasons is because the number of valid pages I have indexed in Google continues to increase over time. So this increase will help me continue to increase the amount of clicks and impressions I'm getting in the Google search engine. So number 2, so when we come over here to performance, one thing I like to look at for all the search terms here is my actual brand name. So you can see Beachfront Decor here, Beachfront Decor, and Beachfront Decor. So some different ways people type in my brand name. I want to make sure that I have a good appearance in the Google search engine when people do type in my brand name. So if we go there now, someone types in Beachfront Decor, you can see it's my website, a bunch of organic site links here, my Pinterest page. There are some images pulled in here. It actually has my Facebook page here, so if we scroll down a little bit, it has my Twitter page, and then there's some advertisements around. Etsy has a page, Beachfront Decor, so all these things, it makes sure that I'm driving clicks to my own website, and that's going to take me right into number 3. So when I look at the last 3 months dates, one of the things you can do with date range is really look at any period of days that you want to. So you can filter by 7 days, 28 days, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 16 months. And you can use all that to make sure that you're growing your clicks, your impressions, and look at total data over time. But one of the things I love to do is click on compare. So number 3 is going to be to make sure you're comparing your clicks and impressions for your brand name and for really everything. So if we click on compare, it's going to say compare the last 3 months to the previous period. We can click on apply here. And as you can see, so I've been able to grow clicks over the last 3 months. So the last 3 versus the previous 3. So 16.4 thousand clicks versus 13.9 thousand clicks. I've actually seen a larger growth in impressions. So the last 3 months, almost 1 million impressions versus 687,000. My click-through rate has gone down a little bit. So that's just something where as I'm getting more pages indexed in Google, my average position might not be as good, even though it looks as good here, but I might just be getting slightly less clicks than I was over the previous 3 months, and even just a small percentage change, so 2% versus 1.7% can just lead to less clicks. But I know that eventually I can keep improving this average click-through rate, especially if I focus on some of my pages that have the lowest click-through rate. So I love to use compare here because you can come down here. I can make sure that my brand name, so Beachfront Decor here, as we scroll down, Beachfront Decor, I've seen a lot of growth here for my brand name in terms of clicks and impressions over the last 3 months versus the previous 3 months. So that's something I really like to look at. Now, the other thing I like to look at a lot is if we just take clicks or impressions here, we'll just take clicks for now. So we're going to click on impressions to get rid of it. And you can see my trend line and clicks over time. So if we scroll down here a little bit, one of the things I like to do is look at differences. So you can see last 3 months clicks versus previous 3 months clicks. A positive difference means we've seen some growth there. A negative difference would mean we've seen some decline there. So -3 is not a big deal. It just means this has remained pretty stagnant over time. So one of the things I like to look at is my top difference for pages and then my biggest change negatively. Now you might see something like nautical Christmas decor here, starfish ornaments, mermaid Christmas ornaments. So those have declined because it's just seasonal keywords. So if you see seasonal keywords, maybe it's something people look for more patio furniture in the summer, for example. So during the winter, I don't get as many clicks for patio furniture. And then people look for different things in the summer, in the spring. So seasonal is something that you want to keep in mind when you're looking at differences. But what I like to do is see some negatives here. So beach bedroom ideas, coastal coffee tables, beach theme bedroom accessories for some of my top search queries here. Seeing negative differences, you want to make sure you go back to some of these different pages and improve the pages, improve the content, add more products, just add more overall relevant content to your pages and making sure you're improving them so that you can see a positive difference over the next 3 months. So we'll take pages here now, and I like to look at some of my top pages by difference by seeing which ones are driving more and more clicks. So coastal bedding in a bag, coastal TV stands. You can see something here, tropical bedding sets, beach and coastal bedroom furniture. So I've been able to see some improvement over the last 3 months for these pages. And then if we click on difference again, we can see which ones have really declined a lot. So beach theme bed in a bag, I actually redirected to that other page. That's why we've seen a big decline here and then a positive over on the other end. So another decline, obviously nautical beach Christmas decorations. So those things don't really worry me too much. But as we scroll down here, you can see mermaid bedding and comforter sets, minus 104 clicks over the last 3 months. So that means I need to go back to this page, make sure I'm adding more relevant products. Maybe I want to add more mermaid bedding sets to my website and continue to improve all of my pages on my website for these different types of keywords to make sure I'm continuously driving more and more traffic for that. So using just differences up here in your top clicks, your top impressions, and some of your top pages, your top search queries will help you find some areas where you can go back and improve the existing content on your website so you can really regain that traffic. You don't want to see huge declines here because that means that you're losing some of your rankings for these different pages and some of the different search queries there. So now number 5, let's just come back to date here. We'll just filter and we'll just look at the last 3 months again. We'll click on apply. And let's just say we come over here back to search queries. One of the things that you can do with all of the data in the Google Search Console is you can export it. So this is really helpful when you're working with clients, or if you just want to keep things in a spreadsheet and kind of look at your spreadsheet. And maybe you look at the last 3 months and you continuously pull this report every quarter. So you can look at some of your top search queries by clicks, by impressions, and look at kind of all that data. So if you click on export data here, one thing I like to do is I use Google Sheets a lot. You can also just download a CSV file, open it in Excel or whichever program you use. So you can take a Google Sheets file like this one right here, and you can see search query, clicks, impressions, click-through rate, position. So you can kind of compare some of this data over time. You can use some of these different search queries and send them to whoever's working on search engine optimization for your website so they know some of the different search terms to really optimize for. You can look at top pages. You can look at all these different things to find some different opportunities for your website. But I just want you to know that really regardless of the tool that you're using in Google, you can always export data, especially if you prefer to work offline sometimes in Microsoft Excel. So if you're on the road or something like that, this is always helpful to have if you don't have an internet connection and you want to figure out which types of content you want to improve and really just finding more data about your business. Okay, so for next is going to be number 6. So one of the things you'll see up top here is inspect any URL in beachfrontdecor.com. So I like to do this to look for errors on my website. So let's just say I'm looking at coastal lamps. So my coastal lamps pages, it's going to say URL is on Google but has issues. So if you have any issues, coverage issues here, it'll show it. If there's any issues with mobile usability, it'll show it. Any issues with accelerated mobile pages or site link search box, if there's any issues there, it will show it. Right now, these are all looking good. But I do have an error with my logo. So if I click on that, I can come in here and it's going to say 1 invalid item detected, 1 error. We can click on it and it's going to say missing field URL. So I'm not really sure why it's saying this error right now because it is pulling in a URL for my logo, but maybe it's something that I want to start working on to make sure I'm not having any of these errors for my indexed pages. So if you're seeing any of these errors, whether it's mobile usability, accelerated mobile pages, you want to make sure you're constantly improving them because it's going to help you find some of the issues with your website when it comes to indexing in the Google search engine. So using inspect URL and making sure that especially your top pages here, if there's really pages you're working on that you know are going to be driving a lot of traffic to your website, make sure you inspect them and make sure there's no issues here at all. So that's going to be number 6, to test URLs. And you can just come in here to URL inspection, or you can just enter any URL up here at the top. So it's a really simple way to kind of look for errors that Google is finding when it comes to indexing your website. So now number 7, we're going to come back over to performance here. One of the things I like to do to find some opportunities is to use impressions and average position. So if we come here, we'll just come to search queries here and we're going to use the top pages by impressions. And what we're going to do is click on average click-through rate and average position. So the graph starts to look pretty bad here because you have 4 different lines, so it's kind of hard to tell which is which. But as we scroll down here a little bit, we can see some of our top search queries by clicks, impressions, average click-through rate, and then the position we have in search results. And we can just look here. So tropical bedding, beach theme bedroom, beach theme bathroom, nautical bedding, beach bedding. And you can really find some opportunities here by seeing your top pages by impressions where your click-through rate is really lagging behind the average. So my average click-through rate is around 2%. So anything that's below that, especially these ones that are driving a lot of impressions, I can make sure maybe I look at my page, I improve my page a little bit by, again, adding more content to it and maybe adding more products to it and just trying to really improve that page, and also making sure that it looks good so I can come over here into the Google search engine, type in some of these different keywords, and making sure that my website looks good in the search results. Making sure I have a good meta description here, making sure that my title tag looks good. So all of those things will help me really improve my click-through rate over time, and that's going to continuously allow me to get more out of my total impressions. So 977,000 impressions is a lot to have over the course of 3 months. Only a 1.7 click-through rate is fairly low, especially when you consider Google Ads. So if you're running Google Ads campaigns, if you have a 1.7 click-through rate, it's really not the greatest when it just comes to the Google search engine. You're really looking for 2.5% or above. So that's kind of where I can find some opportunities, is saying, okay, all these different pages here, nautical bedding, beach theme bathroom, beach signs, and trying to find some low click-through rates here. And again, you can also come to pages and you can find some of your top pages by impressions, and you can see here, so 0.9% for this page. So if I click on it, I can go to it and I can see, okay, I have 100 plus beach theme bathroom ideas. I can make sure that maybe my title tag, maybe my meta description needs a little bit of work here, but as I come in, just making sure I can continuously improve some of these pages. And you can also look at average position for the page, so something like 8.2. It doesn't always coincide though, because you can see here beach and coastal bedroom furniture has a 4.3% click-through rate, which is great, but the average position is much lower. But it might just be that certain keywords are having a better average position. So you just want to make sure that you're really using title tags that are going to match the search terms that people are typing in, and using really good headlines as well. So something like 101 beach themed bathrooms or 100 plus beach themed bathroom ideas. Maybe I want to improve this a little bit, and maybe that will help with my click-through rate. And you can always test these things. So if you come in here, you change a few things. This is where exporting data really comes in handy. You can keep track of all the things that you've changed over the last 3 months, and then you can look again in 3 months and see, where you've seen some improvements, maybe where you've seen some declines, and kind of use all that data to really keep driving more and more clicks to your website, because ultimately that's the goal, because clicks lead to more revenue for our business. So that's going to be number 7, is use impressions and use the average position to really find some opportunities for your website when it comes to pages, when it comes to search queries. So number 8, so as we've kind of gone through all of this, one of the things that I think you're able to find is some of the old content that you really need to update. So this is where I like to use compare again. So if we use date range, we'll just compare the last 3 months to the previous period, click on apply. And one of the things I like to use impressions for this, because if I'm seeing a huge drop in impressions for a specific page or for a specific search query, I can figure out some things I need to optimize for. So we're going to use compare, and we're just going to be looking at total impressions here. We're going to scroll down here a little bit, and we're going to look at difference. And we're really going to look at our negative difference here. So if we scroll down, so these are just some different pages that have been indexed. This one I changed, so that's just something I know. So here's a big one, mermaid bedding and comforter sets. You've seen a huge decline here. So if I click here and I look at this page, I can see it was posted on June 11th, 2017. So I'm making this video on June 3rd, 2019. So I know that this is a page I really need to improve. So I can add it to my list of things I want to improve right now. Now you can also, again, export this data, and it's going to really help you kind of find the different pages that aren't ranking as well. So as we continue to scroll down here a little bit, let's keep looking. So we have mermaid bedding and comforter sets. We'll look at more rows here. So we'll look at 100 rows. So bohemian boho comforters and bedding sets, down 3,500. So we can come down here a little bit more. So these are really seasonal: beach Christmas ornaments, mermaid Christmas ornaments, starfish Christmas ornaments. These are all seasonal. So these are pages that I can also go back and improve to make sure I rank even better this holiday season for some of those pages. So this is kind of a good time to do it. You don't really want to start doing these types of things like right in November, right before these search terms really start to gear up. You want to do this type of stuff in the summer, so then that Google has times to re-index your pages, look at all the new content you've added, because it's going to help you drive more clicks during this holiday season, especially for seasonal keywords. So when it comes to patio furniture, I don't want to start making those changes in June. You really want to start making those changes in the winter. You don't want to change these things in the winter. You want to change those things in June. So that's one just way to look at it. So we'll keep scrolling down here a little bit. Some of these things right here where you're seeing the # quilts or the hashtag quilts, however you want to look at it, those are just ways that we've kind of had things linked on our website. I'm not really too alarmed about those going down. I'd be really more alarmed about the single page seeing a huge decline. So nautical beach Christmas decorations, lighthouse ornaments. So right here, the ultimate guide to outdoor patio furniture. So I've actually seen a huge decline here, which is something that I don't really want. But it might just be something where I change that page. That's really where you want to keep track of all the different things that you've been changing on your website. But these are just different ways to find some examples of, so if I look at beach and nautical bathroom lighting, so I've probably had a little bit of decline here, even though it has the #150. This page right here, if I look on it and open it, so you can see I've recently updated this on April 4th, but I'm not seeing a huge improvement yet. So this might be something where I want to go back and continuously improve this page. So I've also gone back and changed a lot of these pages over time. So you really need to keep track of everything that you're changing. But using some of this different data can help you find old content that you need to update, especially if you're seeing a huge difference for a specific page here that's going down in time. Or if you just come over here to search queries, you can see some of the different things where you've seen a huge decline over the last 3 months. And if you're seeing a huge negative decline, you want to make sure that you're improving your pages. So something like outdoor patio furniture, you can see last 3 months impressions, 0. Nautical lighting, 0. Beach cottage decor, 0. So if you're seeing some of these huge differences negatively, that means you have a page that's either been de-indexed or you have a page that really lost its rankings altogether, and you want to use your pages report to find some examples of old pages and old content that you can update. Okay, so now for number 9, we're going to be using Google Analytics for 9 and 10. So one of the things you can do is you can actually just use Google Analytics to set up your Google Search Console account. So if you already have Google Analytics on your website and enabled, so we're going to come over here to Google Analytics, we're on Beachfront Decor, and right now we're just in our admin screen. So you have Google Analytics on your website, you're getting data for your website. One of the things you can do is first click on all products and make sure that you have your Google Search Console account connected to your Google Analytics account. So we can see right here, Search Console. If we click on Adjust Link, you can see right here, all you need to do is click on the link right here and make sure you have your 2 accounts linked to each other. So that will allow you to come in here to Acquisition, go to Search Console, and if we click on Landing Pages, you can start to see some data for your Google Search Console account. You can change the dates here as well. But if we scroll down here a little bit, you can see your top landing pages by impressions, clicks, click-through rate. So if we just click on clicks here, you can see your top landing pages by clicks. And you can see right here, so that will help you kind of find some of your top landing pages. As you scroll over, you can see the number of goal completions or conversions that those landing pages have led to on your website. So you can see total goal value, total goal conversion rate. So all of those things will help you to optimize for the keywords, the search terms, the pages that are really driving you the most amount of value on your website. So if you're seeing something right here, so let's just look at, so if we just look right here, tropical bedding sets, you can see the number of clicks for tropical bedding sets is 30. We've had 25 goal completion, so a really good goal conversion rate, good goal value, especially for not a whole lot of clicks. So something over here, beach coastal coffee tables, 45 clicks, a really high bounce rate. So that can represent a page that I really need to improve. Now, the other thing I like to do is let's just look at a specific landing page here. So if we click on landing page, it's going to pull in the top search queries for that landing page. So for my home page, people are typing in beach decor, beach theme decor, coastal decor. You can see the top impressions, top clicks. So obviously the actual brand name people are clicking the most. But if I can get my homepage to rank a little bit higher for something like coastal decor, something like beach themed decor, beach themed home decor, if I can get it to rank a little bit higher here and improve my average position, I know I can keep driving more clicks to my homepage. So all of those things can really help with your website. Now, the other thing I like to do is if we just come back over here to landing pages, And this is last but not least, this is going to be number 10, is to use filters. One of my favorite things to do is if we click over here on advanced, you can actually add a dimension or metric. You can include landing pages containing certain keywords. But if we just come over here, we'll go to add a dimension or metric. So you can use things like impressions, clicks, click-through rate. So if you just search up at the top here, so we'll just search impressions, you can see that right here. So if we click on it, you could say include impressions greater than, let's just say 20. So anything with more than 20 impressions, we'll click on apply here. So it's not going to change it much, but one thing we can do is just look at click-through rate here, and we can see what has maybe a low click-through rate that's driving a lot of impressions. So beach Christmas ornaments, anchor lamps, beach Christmas tree ideas. So you can increase this impressions here. So maybe I want to come back over to the advanced filter. We'll click on edit, impressions greater than, we'll just do 100. And we'll come back over here and look for low click-through rates, and it's going to help you find some different pages that you can improve. We can also look at a lot of different things here. So something that's driving a lot of clicks, but maybe not driving a lot of goal completions, we can see why. So a lot of different things that you can look at by using advanced filters. So if we click on edit here again, we'll do include impressions greater than, we'll change impressions here to, let's use click-through rate. And you can use, let's use click-through rate that's less than, and we'll do 1.0, and we'll include impressions greater than, and we'll just say 250. And we can click on apply here. And now that's going to help us find some different landing pages that are getting a lot of impressions but have a low click-through rate. So it's going to help us find pages where we can probably drive more clicks to our website for some of these different landing pages. And you can come up to the top here. I'm only looking at a week's worth of data, and you can change your date range. So we could look at it the entirety of May. We can go, let's just go from April to June 3rd. We'll click on apply. So as you can see over time, we've seen some increase here from the beginning of April. So now this is probably our largest day, 257. So we had a big day in May 5th. You can see Sundays and Mondays are usually pretty big days for us. So we'll scroll down here a little bit, and you can see some low click-through rates here. We can also start to look at some of the pages with the top impressions that have a click-through rate under 1.00%. So palm tree comforter and bedding sets, especially the accelerated mobile pages version. So it might just be something where I need to improve something on my title tag. I need to improve something on the page. I need to look back at my accelerated mobile page and make sure if everything is set up properly. You can also see some of these things are also seasonal here. So coastal beach Christmas stockings. And then sometimes as you change pages here, as you start to improve different pages, so I have something like turtle decor here. I recently added all those pages. That might just be something where I need to improve that page a little bit more because my average position is 47. So maybe I can just continue to improve these things. So it's really going to help you find a lot of areas of opportunity on your website, whether it's adding new pages for specific search terms or improving your existing content on your website. So if you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comments section. These are 10 simple tips to really help you improve your website by using the Google Search Console. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.